what his main is, but if he gets his main, he always makes some clip-worthy plays. Excited to see what these teams can bring, especially Ace bringing a 4-man team to the table. Some spicy new stuff.
Gonna be interesting to see what comes out. Team versus Team Blank. Relia, Aatrox bands. I like it.
All right.
The Rumble band coming out. Intra popping off earlier tonight in game 2, correct? Yeah, game 2. On the Rumble mid. I wonder if that was a ban for get Indra off of his champion, or his second champion. Anyway, Riven ban coming out from Team Blank. Finally, the Karthus ban comes through. That's what I'm looking for.
That's
Intra never getting to play.
Intra. Poor Intra. I told him to play on a Smurf today so that he might actually be able to play the Karthus. But to be fair, Dark Harvest is still really strong, and Karthus is insane with Dark Harvest overall, and so it may not even be a direct ban against Intra, and more of just in general, I'm seeing him practically permaban when it comes to ranked games.
Yeah, with Dark Harvest, it's pretty nuts. Pretty scary. We have Lee Sin pickup and Soraka pickup.
No way! No way! Alright, we're gonna have to
Soraka.
see something else out of Neb because he is a Lee Sin one trick. He can play other stuff, but Lee Sin is his main. That is the champion he's well known on it. And I don't know whether Team Blank did their research or not, but they actually grab it for their own side. I love it. Grabbing Soraka as well. We got a bunch of new faces on that team. Ace, Crystal Sphinx, Northern, and Facts and Logic, which I gotta say, I love that name. So we don't know what these players' mains are. We don't know what they pick. We don't know how well they play. Excited to be able to cast them in this game. Is Cody J gonna grab Lucian for Team which, you know, he's super strong
like
in
he's
big duelist.
really good champ right now. And with all 80 carries up, there's still some pretty strong picks. If Varus can be locked in, that's a fairly rough lane for Varus. We'll see what happens down there. Both are going to try and play very safe with that Soraka, but we have to see. Ban coming out from Shyvana ban coming out from Ace. I don't know exactly what Deb's champion pool is, but consists of Shyvana. I do not know. Fizz ban coming out. I like Fizz ban because of that champion, as we saw last game. Ralik doing work, managing to bring his team back from the depths, and winning that game with a Fizz.
Yeah, so they're still banning some of these jungle champions, taking Nocturne and the Shyvana off the table. One of the other things I've seen Neb play recently was Jarvan. Not to the greatest effect, but definitely knows at least a little bit about that champion, enough to play it in some ranked games. Let's see what the last ban from Team is, taking away more mid laners. They dropped the Kassadin, which means that whatever their mid laner is going to have a little bit of easier time. Karthus, Fizz, Kassadin, Rumble taken away. I don't know. Who do you think Mystic Warrior is going to be grabbing from the mid lane?
I'm not entirely sure. Don't know what he plays. I do like the Urgot pick. Gives them a strong front line for Team Blank. Be interesting to see what they pick here. The last two picks definitely need some AP and possibly some more front line, but we'll have to see what they end up taking. Katarina being hovered.
Join me and
I like
be
that. Hey,
elevated.
Captain Rubber Duck, thank you for the follow. I do remember
the
seeing your
G4
face
line.
before, but I can still welcome you. And I can still ask you not to judge me too hard, but judge away. It is your right. It is your right. All right, so Katarina picked up. I like that they were taking away some champions that either make her life difficult, like the Karthus, just in general because of that ultimate, or the CC of that silence from the Kassadin. Wait, does he still have that, or did they finally patch that?
What?
Kassadin silence.
I
think he still
I
has
heard
the
of that.
silence. Oh,
I think
okay, well, I'm wrong. To heal, throwing out some bits. Were you in the bit mines? Taking first place. I might change the bits back to all time. I am curious actually to see who has the all-time number of bits. But Tahil grabs it for now with those 10 bits. Appreciate it. Team all in. Let's go.
Oh, he still has-
So he's got 10 bits on Team
It's just mix the chat.
He doesn't silence.
He interrupts
interrupts
casts.
casts. Interesting.
I'm looking this up. I don't know.
All right. Well, while you figure that out, I'm gonna roll through the players on the side of Team We've got Gangplank with the Gangplunk. I apologize, with the Janna. Bottom lane supportive role. Sejaces with the Pantheon in the top lane. Cody J on the Lucian 80 carry role. Mystic Warrior taking the Katarina into that mid lane, and Neb with Jarvan in the jungle. You'll see. He says. Well, we'll see some Cataclysm coming out from him. Maybe it's enough to take down Team Blank that has their 4-man. Go ahead, Otter.
It's a micro silence.
Micro silence. Oh.
This is for like 0.1 second, so you can use it to interrupt like
Katarina ultimates.
casting. Indeed. Anyway,
That's
so
what I was
for
talking about. Go ahead.
Team Blank, we have Ace playing Lee Sin in the jungle, Crystal Sphinx playing Soraka in the support role, Northern playing Varus in the bot lane, Fax and Logic playing Urgot in the top lane, Intra playing Azir in the mid lane.
All right, there's some pretty spicy choices here. I like that Azir in that mid lane can make some really, really fun overall ultimates that can just cause the enemy team to go bouncy house, pull them in to a Varus ultimate, or vice versa. Varus locking them down for Azir to knock someone into the rest of the team, or a turret or something. And Soraka, a really good team fighting champion with that full AoE heal. These are both some pretty spicy teams with that Lee Sin, Jarvan gank. I don't know. What do you think?
Overall, I think I like Blank's team a little bit more. I think I give the edge to them. I do like the way their team fight could be structured. As far as team fighting goes, it can be structured better, having that stronger front line with Urgot and having that backline damage of Varus and Azir hanging back. They can keep Soraka around the backline and not being able to get one shot either by Pantheon, Katarina, or Jarvan. I think they can definitely have a good team fight and should be able to win most of the fights. I think the interesting thing to see is if Katarina, or Mystic Warrior on this Katarina, so Jace's on the Pantheon, and Neb on this Jarvan can get past Urgot and Lee Sin and make it onto Azir, Varus, or Soraka and bring them down. But it'll be interesting.
Very, very interesting. That Pantheon in the top lane, not something you commonly see, but coming back a little bit. Probably going to be taking the Electrocute because he can get some pretty good burst damage down. Against the Urgot, I feel like he's probably going to have to play a little bit more passively, just kind of getting a little bit of harass down, waiting for the Jarvan to join him and 2v1 that Urgot because, man, that guy, especially when it comes to post 6, is so hard to take down in the 1v1. He's got the ultimate for the execution and really can just make your life difficult. He also has that teleport, so good luck trying to just out-farm him because anytime if he gets shoved back under lane, he's just going to back TP back to the top lane and go at it once again.
Yeah, it's going to be a little rough. So Jason's in early, pre-6 could be able to push him off of minions. He's got a lot of early damage, especially I'm assuming he's going to run Electrocute. Possibly could run Dark Harvest. We'll see what ends up going. But he does have a lot of damage in that early phase of the game, so we'll see what he could do. But post 6, it's going to be really tough until Jarvan comes.
The other thing I want to keep an eye on is that Azir. He's so mobile in the early game, able to just use that slide and glide to get around, try to make some advantages, whether for himself in the mid lane or for his team in other lanes. Ganking in that bottom lane, setting up that Varus and the Soraka, especially with her silence, to make some plays, could be pretty strong. But again, you gotta be one of those players in that mid lane who just clears the wave super quickly to then roam. It's not good to just start roaming, leaving your enemy laner, especially a Katarina who just wants to scale and just continue to build up snowball opportunity to free farm the mid lane and make some roams of her own.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Katarina can get that mid lane is gonna be interesting to see how it goes out. We'll have to see if they can get the Katarina ahead. If Katarina gets ahead, they can try and make a play towards bottom lane with a Jarvan. Have pretty good CC in that lane, getting slow from Janna into the knock-up from Jarvan onto a very immobile bottom lane from Team Blank with that Varus Soraka. As we get into game.
Team versus Team Blank for game 4 of the night. We see everyone loading into the game, excited to see what they bring to the table. I heard that there was a pause, though we, as 3 minutes behind loading into the game, may not be affected too much by that pause. We do see all the side of Team running out of base, and it looks like everyone is loaded in, so I'm not sure what the pause may or may not be. As we get a follow,
None will question
thank you
us.
for the follow. Appreciate that. Hopefully we can get you into game. If we do game number 5, you are a new person who wants to be able to make it in, as we do see all 5 members of walk right into a ward and decide, okay, maybe we should split and go separate directions. Nice Janna skin. This is probably one of my favorite Janna skins. She's got some other good skins, but there's the pause. Not sure what it's for. By the way, guys, if you've seen the full Summoner's Rift zoomed out, it's really nice. Don't ignore the abyss over here. This is the void. Don't look at that. Just look at the pretty Summoner's Rift. Okay, back into it. Sorry. All right, analyzing the game a little bit further as we move some champions. Varus versus Lucian early game. I want to give the bottom lane to Lucian because that Janna, her shields are so good, giving you a little bit of extra AD, as well as Lucian being that duelist. As long as he can land that light slinger, grabbing the double auto attacks with that passive, he's going to be able to bully Varus pretty well until Varus has a couple of levels behind him. Which Soraka should be able to heal, but I think early game pressure goes to Team up until Varus hits that level 6, and then he can throw that ultimate chain of corruption to just hold someone in place for him to burn them down bit by bit.
I think Northern and Crystal Things here are gonna have to play safe for most of that lane until he gets some jungle help from Ace or some spicy ganks from more than just Ace. Because that's a very tough lane for Varus to be in. If they can play safe, they can be fine because they can trade a little bit back and forth and just use Soraka to basically even the trade back out. Even though Lucian can do so much more damage in those fights because of his passive, but we'll have to see how it plays out as we are unpaused.
Back into the game. Intra apparently was doing some stuff trying to make sure that he wasn't lagging out. When you are that Azir, you want to make sure that you can land all of your spells. You got good positioning with your soldiers as well. So lag pretty critical there. And we see a spicy invade by a solo Pantheon coming into this top side. Should be able to grab the red buff by himself. Wait, so is he gonna try to grab it and then head to the top lane, or is he just gonna walk to the top lane, try to get vision on the enemy jungler?
I think he's going to try and take it and then go top. Try and put Lee Sin further behind. We'll have to see what he does.
Okay, so he just drops a word and then immediately heads to the top side. Should be able to catch the wave before too many of them go down. And just wants that extra little bit of vision to know where this Lee Sin is going. Neb, take note of maybe the enemy jungler doing, or enemy top laner doing something spicy like that. As Ace on that Lee Sin starts off that blue side. We'll see if he goes for a full clear or tries to do something spicy. J4 head directly to that red buff. So we're looking for maybe a 3 buff start from the Jarvan IV.
Yeah, we'll see if he can take it fast enough, he should be fine. Lee Sin, I believe, is going to walk over. Oh, he's going to take his Grom. So Neb here should get this pretty cleanly without running into Lee Sin, running into too much trouble. And they don't know that he's taking it either because they don't have the vision.
I actually like this. He is a Lee Sin one trick, which means he knows Lee Sin's limits. He knows Lee Sin's usual routes, which means he can play against it. Gets the 2 buff start, maybe going for his own blue buff to go for that 3 buff start, getting the Scuttle Crab in the meantime. So keep an eye on where he goes with that as Lee Sin gets a Scuttle on the bottom side. So Scuttle for Scuttle, still things fairly in between those two. Bottom lane, slight advantage over to that Lucian, but no real shocker there. Talk about this top lane a little bit. Pantheon versus Urgot.
It's a rough lane for Pantheon. If Urgot plays it correctly, if he can find the right fight, he can stun him at a mid-W, trying to avoid some of that damage. He can get some burst damage of his own down with that electric, but it can be pretty tough. We might have to get some help from Neb early on. But with the wards, he knows...
Going forward aggressively, gets a couple auto attacks down onto Northern, dropping him to about half. He's gonna get
there's a Soraka. the Soraka heal, bringing that trade back in the favor of Team Blank, using that W and bring up Northern back to just under full HP after that trade.
That's the nice thing about Soraka is unless you can burst somebody on the enemy team down super quick, that Soraka's just going to heal her ADC right back up and not be too concerned. She's got the mana to keep an eye on, and she can't heal herself, which means that it's actually more worthy overall to try to trade against the Soraka. Ooh, Katarina with a nice juke in the mid lane is going to avoid the Lee Sin trying to make a gank.
Good stuff. Using the... Oh no, I don't know the name. Shunpo.
Shunpo? I was about to say, if you don't know Shunpo, that's like the most basic.
I knew what it was called. Whatever. Anyway,
that's alright.
Use Shunpo. Oh, Lee Sin does spot Neb in the bot side jungle. I think he was spotted trying to make a play towards this bottom lane. We'll see if they try to scalpel. Try to take the Raptors away.
To engage onto Ace, gets the slow. Looks like Lee Sin will be able to walk away, especially as there is a Zir around the corner. May not want to invest too hard into that. And it's still fairly early into the game. There's nothing too crazy going on. I want to check very briefly on where this Drake is sitting at. It's another Wind Drake start. Not my favorite starts to a game when it's a Wind Drake. I usually like something a little more exciting like an Infernal. But, you know, Wind Drakes still can be impactful overall.
I do like it since they added the mobility. In the mid lane. They've added the extra mobility during combat, which makes Wind Drakes feel fairly good, even if it's the only Drake you end up getting. But they're really nice to pick up.
Another thing to keep in mind is that over the course of the game, with the pre-season patches, the minions will get faster and faster as the game progresses, almost matching champion speed so you get to that 30-minute mark. So having a Wind Drake on your side, speeding you to catch that wave before it crashes into a turret or before it gets too far down the lane, stopping at a river or something, can be impactful as the later stages of the game come along. I want to say Neb for this Lee Sin, but it's Ace who's playing him, getting a little bit of vision on that Wind Drake. He's played very heavily towards this bottom side and maybe looking for a gank on the Katarina in the mid lane. Katarina goes in. This is actually a great opportunity for the Lee Sin to come from behind. Level 4, though, for that Lee Sin, so he's just going to get a couple of hits down. Katarina trying to side avoid the Q. Still gets hit and will flash to safety, but that's a pretty expensive flash, especially when Katarina just got her ultimate.
Yeah, we'll see if Ace... I would like to see him try and come back mid, trying to punish him for burning that flash at the end. It also hit 6 there. They should be able to make a play next time they are both around. Try and punish Mystic Warrior.
Yeah, Zir needs to back. He's got about 15 farm CS over the Katarina at the moment. Low on mana. Not good for an Azir who really wants to be able to drop those soldiers, move them around, shuffle it whenever a fight breaks out. Still fairly even in gold, but a slight edge to Team Blank just due to the well-farming lanes of that Urgot and Intro in that top and mid respectively.
Yeah, doing pretty well both sides, both lanes, having that CS advantage that they want. Good stuff from the Urgot. He is quite the bully to play against. He is also 6, so we have to watch that top side, see what happens. Jason is also 6. We'll see if he can use that ulti to help out in another lane or what he decides to do with that.
Yeah, something to keep in mind, especially when it comes to... Oh, wait, hold on. Janna might be going down to the bottom lane. The shield keeps him alive. Mystic Warrior maybe diving in underneath. The ultimate. She's going to be flashing in. Double Shunpo finishes off both members. Lucian being able to pick up one great play out of on the bottom side. And the ultimate on the top side going to miss from Facts and Logic. And that means comes out with a really nice lead. 1,000 gold, and Cody J is going to get some free time on this turret 1v1 style.
Cody J got that first blood on the Soraka, and then the Varus finished off by the Katarina. So good stuff from them. Spreading the gold around the team, keeping everybody ahead.
Yeah, I like that both of the carries are the ones who are actually able to pick that gold up on that bottom side. That's going to kind of scale them in. The one thing you don't want is for your Janet to pick up first blood. Sure, she might be able to complete her support item a little bit faster, but the overall game effect that Lucian being able to have BF sword and a bunch of daggers in his inventory as a gunslinger. Is it right to have this many swords and daggers in your inventory? I mean, really, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's obviously Master Yi hidden style, Wuju style. But no, as the AD carry, being able to pick up that much damage early on to the game is so nice. And Neb coming in for a gank on the bottom side has the red buff, looking for the Cataclysm, forces the flash immediately out of the Soraka. Good that she still had out the last engage, and Varus actually has flash as well. So interesting they didn't use them in the last fight. May not have been able to save them though, as Mystic Warrior goes in onto Intra, knocking that Azir down to half, so he's going to back away playing safe. And Ace just not engaging in these lanes so far this game.
I would assume use Lee Sin's early damage and early pressure that he can put out to... Oh, he got really low there, trying to give that over. Try and see if he can use that early game pressure and damage that Lee Sin has to try and get...
Wait,
Cody J!
Culling! Beautiful move straight into the Soraka.
Oh, he might find the rest.
Neb
comes in.
Just too perfectly as Neb comes in from behind, pushes Lee Sin out of his own jungle, and immediately ganks to the bottom side. Blank really struggling so far in this bottom lane. They have gone down twice so far, and that is going to be a beautiful chunk of gold to the side of as they are burning down these shielding stats.
Great stuff from Cody. Just hit 6 and catches Crystal Sphinx, standing behind, or out on away from the minions, out away from Northern, and takes her down with that ultimate. And then Neb coming in to clean up, kill onto Northern. 2 kills. 2-0-2 now on the Lucian. Should be able to actually get his item when he backs.
4 of those procs gone off of that turret. That is about 600 gold for most of the players that were down there. They're going to back feeling really good. Already a bounty on this Lucian's head. Can he finish off his first 80 item? It's a Storm Razor's Edge and gets level 1 boots as well. Oh my goodness, Cody J is feeling really good so far this game.
10 minutes in, already has a Storm Razor. Should be able to just punish this bot lane and keep trying to force fights around them. We'll see if Team Blank can answer either in another lane or bring some help down bot lane.
Ace sitting around at the side, maybe looking for an engage with the... Oh, there it is, a slide and shine with the ultimate as well, but the Katarina ults back. She's canceled it. Mystic Warrior maybe going down. Ace chasing it in. The dagger going to not do enough. She wants to Shumbo to her own dagger, and in the end, Ace is able to steal away. Neb coming in, forcing the flash out of the Azir, who slides and glides and so to safety. Ace flashing, but the J4 going to follow it up, getting his own second kill of the game, and that is the punish by Team collapsing with more members to the party. Urgot, though, gets a little free time on the top lane.
Gets free time. He's still up. 30 seconds to Microplanet Tower. Cody J get the ulti off again. Oh, he flashed forward.
The ultimate
almost
keeps
finds
the
damage,
alive.
but the ultimate roots him under tower. He's gonna go down to the turret.
Tornado from the Janna, not going to be able to do enough to stop Northern, and so Raka lives. Wait, Gangplank coming around from behind, just needs an auto. Ignite! Throws down the ranged Ignite. Why did he not just
to clean up?
Uses the Q, and now starts the heal as well to tank up the turret in time for Neb to finish off the Varus, but the turret shot comes through. Northern still gets a kill. The shutdown gold is insane, as Lucian did go down earlier, so Jace is finding a nice stun onto Intra. The Azir wants to chase in. He's got the Sand Soldiers as well, picks off the Pantheon in the top lane. Mystic Warrior trying to face off against facts and logic, but you cannot stop what is unstoppable. And in the meantime, though, first turret is going to go over to in the bottom lane. Neb able to pick up a nice chunk of gold, as well as now 3-0, doing very well this game. But man, with that gold influx that the Varus has, we'll see what he's able to do with that. Mystic Warrior find himself out with the Ace. Intra here as well, slides forward with the Sand Soldier. Ace with the clean moves, takes away the Katarina. 7 kills to 5. But man, what was looking pretty one-sided from Team Blank has really fired back.
Yeah, they're finding the right picks that they need across the map. Punishing a little bit of over-aggression from Team especially in that bottom side. But they're going to pick up the first Cloud Drake of the game. Intra gonna get some more gold for himself in this mid off the gold plating. He might be in trouble though.
It's a Janna, Lucian coming in as well.
Yeah, they're just gonna jump away and run out.
High mobility champions there between Lee Sin, able to hop all over the place, and Azir being able to redirect those Sand Soldiers. Looks like Lucian trying to take over this mid lane though, start to shove it in, get a couple more ticks off of that turret as we're at that 13-minute mark. Still a minute before that plating falls off. Opportunities to pick up a little more gold.
I'm interested to see how this top lane continues to play out. Facts and Logic, pretty content with just sitting top and out farming his opponent, while Sejace has been trying to make plays around the map, but not too much success with that. Urgot now has 1,000 gold lead over his laner, and he's getting a back with 2,200 gold, so let's see what he decides to go for, and how that's going to turn the rest of that lane.
2,000 gold lead for Team feeling good. Lucian still with that 2-1-3 overall score line is pretty nice. He's got a bit of a gold farm against the Varus as well, who's having to sit back against his turret, wait for that wave to be pushed in, doesn't want to be able to push it out too hard. The Windrake was picked up by earlier, so we can very quickly kind of scroll over as Ace maybe finding Gangplank for a second. It's an Infernal Drake. That's the spiciness we're looking for. Add a little extra heat to the game as the blue buff maybe being contested here. Goes over. Double man knockup. This is the beautiful
Into
play
the
from
Varus
They're able
ulti.
to pick up the Lucian immediately, follow up with the Janna as well. And Intra comes up huge. Pantheon ganking to the top side, looking for Facts and Logic. Fashes forward, gets the stun. Neb here as well. Can Urgot fight the 1v2? Then the blast cone cleared by Neb, making sure that the Urgot is going to go down. So Jace picks up his own in the top side.
Good stuff from at the beginning of that in the bottom fight. Great stuff from Intra and Northern, comboing their ultis, using the Trima shuffle to get behind them and throw them back towards Northern, and then comboing that with his Chain of Corruption to keep them in place, and finishing off those 2 kills, punishing more over aggression from side of Team who really aren't too much more ahead than they were before, and it's starting to slip back into the favor of Team Blank.
And that's something to keep in mind, is that despite the nice 2 kills in the bottom lane, they didn't get much advantage anywhere else on the map, except Facts and Logic may be able to trade on. This Jace is up here, we saw it earlier, throws out the ultimate, a little bit more damage, and he can get the execution. There it is, finally gets it. He'll have the fear against the Pantheon as well, who uses the Cataclysm but can't catch him underneath the turret. Facts and Logic able to walk away for him now, using those crab legs to kind of crawl, but Neb is looking for some fish food. Drops the flag, not able to finish it off. And so, he could try to re-engage as Facts and Logic takes a step over. All right, Neb decides with the low mana to play safe and back away.
Good stuff from Facts and Logic, getting that. I know that feeling when you're playing Urgot. You need 1 tick of damage so you can pull them back, drag them back in, and eat them up. Oh, you might be trouble your Mystic Warrior, flashing forward.
Don't think Facts and Logic's gonna maybe outplay. Wait, one more turret shot might be enough, but no, the Katarina able to step out of the turret range in time. Good attempt, though, from that low health Urgot.
He's gonna try and chase. He's not gonna chase out a tower. Mystic Warrior, good stuff, getting out alive. Used both his sums in that pick, though, but did get the kill he wanted, getting him some more gold. Sitting on 1,800 on his back. See what he comes out with. I'm interested to see. Oh, Ace can come out in his top lane.
Yeah, Ace half health against the Jaces, who wants to chase it in. He needs a stun to just kind of hop in, make sure to finish off this Lee Sin. Deciding instead to focus on the wave as he is fighting into about a little over half a wave himself. And these minions do deal more damage than they originally used to, as we are sitting on that preseason. Lee Sin able to heal up to about half with that refillable pot, but it could go a little bit differently if Sejaces decides to re-engage it.
We'll see what he says to Urgot's coming up now. I'm not sure that they know he's here. I think Neb's trying to make his way to the top side as well, or just take away his Krugs. They might find a pick onto the Jaces here.
Oh, they're gonna not get the slow. He gets a stun, but Lee Sin walks forward, immediately kicks the Jace's back. Nice ultimate from Facts and Logic. Good play by Ace, sticking around long enough for Facts and Logic to get in there. Now Neb goes in. Is the beautiful Cataclysm. Void smashes the Lee Sin off of the Rift. Mystic Warrior running back to the Fountain. Facts and Logic, though, he's pretty darn strong too, and he's got Intra here to join as well. Hops over the sliding glide, but Mystic just jumps away. Nice move so far, but Intra gonna be able to try to find the J4. Can Intra outplay both of these members? He's down to half. Has to walk away. Wait, slides right back into Nebu. Gets a shield. The ultimate's gonna be enough. He gets the barrier proc as well. Mystic Warrior tries to go in. Intra's got the outplay. The double kill for the Azir. That is absolutely insanity.
crazy good stuff for Intra. You thought that fight was gonna go south as he dashes past both the members, allowing Facts and Logic get melted by the rest of the players. It comes back in and cleans them both up. Crazy good stuff. Cody J in the bot side is gonna try and trade back, take the dragon for Team
Yeah, good punish by Team and that top side I was going to comment earlier. Ace was spending a lot of time up there, and it's an Infernal Drake on the map that is absolutely worth trying to go for, and instead decided to
Jesus might find Northern here too.
On the Pantheon. So Jace is now chasing in onto Northern. He's on the wrong side of the map. He's going to be shut down, and Lucian able to pick up the kill off of that. 12 kills to 11, fairly even a gold 1,000 the side of Team but they've got that Infernal Drake, and especially on a Katarina, that can scale really nicely into the later stages of the game.
We will have to see what they do. Cody J still has fairly good lead in this bot side of the map. The gold is getting closer. It's really on Intra, and that mid lane had a really substantial gold lead over the Katarina. Good stuff from Ace, just narrowly escaping that one.
Yeah, it was almost like a bait, like he's waiting for people to try to jump in on him, and he's like, juke, I got this, but he's still waiting around the corner. Meko, Mystic Wave, gonna get chunked out by Intra. Sonic Wave gonna miss, though, from Ace, and that says, all right, let's disengage for the moment. We do have an Urgot coming in. Fax and Logic able to take at the top lane turret, now joins them in the mid lane, potentially for a 3-man push on this middle turret.
See what they decide to do. There's not really too much pressure on the map, so if they do go for that, they could risk getting collapsed. Turret plating is down, though. It's now 20 minutes into the game. Turret should be able to fall with a few, maybe 2 to 3 hits from this strong 4-0-3 Azir.
Culling comes out from Cody J, but he's going to be finding himself fighting 3 members. Flashes super early, gets himself back to the turret. Intra joining that Urgot in the mid lane. We'll see if he decides to make it engage. Flashes forward onto Gangplank. Is going to be able to toss it back in and throws out the ultimate. Can't get the fear onto the Katarina. The ultimate from Intra a little bit too late and will be going down. Fax and Logic now find himself caught by 2. The Pantheon able to get the assist as well onto the Urgot. In the meantime, Ace trying to get the kill onto Cody J. The heal from Crystal Sphinx. That was what they needed in the mid lane a lot earlier. Not going to be enough. Still, though, 3 versus 2. We'll see if Team Blank's squishy bottom laners can deal with the Pantheon and the J4 that are collapsing. Bottom lane turret gonna go down just in time, but they just puts it up. Soraka already finished off. Pantheon is destroying, and sorry, it is the J4 that's destroying. He's got all of the damage. Ace should be falling as well. Never survives, just barely. Oh man, Team carved themselves a 2,000 gold lead and say, yeah, you've got a bottom lane turret, but we got your entire 3-man bottom lane.
Yeah, that's the AD Jarvan 8, 1, and 3 just absolutely melting. Picks up a Guardian's Angel as well. Just deletes Soraka, and then also does the same to Northern on the Varus with the Cataclysm. Oh my goodness.
Neb said
I wanted to point out.
Go ahead.
Oh. I wanted to point out earlier in that fight with Katarina, Mystic Warrior made a good Shunpo to dodge Intra's ultimate and get that kill and just burst him with her own ultimate.
Yeah, both these mid laners really go back and forth. And what I love is how even the game is. It means that it's up into anyone's territory as to who could win. Neb, though, finds Northern. I'm pretty sure this Varus is way gone. Oh, still gets him despite the flash. The prediction with the flag and drag. Ace is going to be finding him. Intra joining him as well. GA not going to pop because the nice flag and drag over the wall keeps Neb alive. I was going to say earlier, this J4, he is a Lee Sin one trick and says, you may have taken my one trick and I will punish you with it. GA has been popped, but he still takes out that Lee Sin, and all 5 members of Team joining into the top lane, looking for the engagement underneath the turret. Katarina picks up 2, hops to safety as well. Urgot ulti, not going to find Sejace's. It's still up and available, so he could try to fire it out and finish off that Pantheon, but a second tier turret on the top lane going to fall. Are they going to continue to push in or go for the Baron that's alive and on the map?
I think you're going to try and push in, have the man advantage. Might be able to get this tower. Demolish comes out. It's already down to half, but now they don't have any minions. Oh, as he goes in on the Varus. Good ulti from Faction Logic. Gets a double fear down.
Pushes
And
the J4
punishes the
out.
overmission again.
Triple kill for the
Triple kill.
Urgot. That was so good. And honestly, just a really poor choice from Sejaces on this Pantheon who gets executed. And the fear was absolutely critical in that fight underneath the turret.
wait,
Katarina, though, finds the ace. Ooh, the good kick. Keeps himself alive. Forced to flash out from the Lucian as well. But dang, that is a really nice disengage from what looked like another kill to Mystic Warrior.
That Urgot play from Facts and Logic gets the double fear. I might have canceled the Death Lotus, but I'm not entirely
Oh,
sure.
the ultimate takes out Cody! Beautiful moves by Intra. He just knows this is a champion. I love what he said at the beginning of the game. You ban 4 people from mid lane, and you don't ban my second best champion, and he is showing why. They're going to pick up a Windrake for Blank, and that will even those up as Pantheon ults in.
I don't think that's what you want, Sejaces.
Ults into his own demise. He gets a stun down, but he is gone
Uh-oh.
back to the base. Quick recall. And apparently he didn't see enough of the gray screen, so he's going to go see some more of it.
They still have a slight gold lead, 2k, which is mostly coming from that bot lane. Actually, it's all coming from that bot lane and the jungler right now. But crazy advantage for Team Blank in this top lane with the Urgot and in the mid lane with Azir. Those 2 champions for this team are extremely strong.
I really like this redemption pickup by the Soraka. Most of the members of the team fairly immobile, especially that tanky Urgot. Look at him absorb the entire calling from Cody J. Not concerned. And they've got that turret by the Azir who goes in, but the tornado knocked him. Intra's ultimate is completely whiffed. He's going to be going down. The
Oh, the Cataclysm.
The heal
4
from
man.
Soraka doesn't do enough. They're underneath the ultimate, but it doesn't matter because Katarina is shredding the entire team. She's got a triple kill, make it a quadra kill. Lucian finishes off the ultimate for the tower from the Azir, and they are going to be able to move in. They say, minions, we don't need minions to take your middle first tier turret and possibly even a second. Maybe they'll go for the in-hit.
I believe that was a 5-man Cataclysm. He killed Intra with the initial damage and locked the other 4 inside. That tornado to start that fight stopped Intra's engage with his Shurima shuffle, and it really just blew open the fight for Team
Yeah, that was just disgusting. A beautiful wombo combo. The tornado to stifle Intra and then the Jarvan. This is one of those times that even if you're losing, you have to be prepared to make moves. You had everything going against them. They were underneath their own turret in the mid lane. They had the enemy Azir turret shooting down on them, and yet they see the ultimate from Intra whiff, and that is their sign. Go all in. J4 unafraid of making those plays. Neb continuing to punish the enemy team and says, yeah, I've got a second main as well. Let me show you how he works. 11, 2, and 9. What an impact in this game.
He is a monster doing crazy amounts of damage. It's still very squishy, finally picking up some resistances for the Azir, who's also crazy big. It's gonna be interesting how the next fight plays out. It really comes down to who gets the crowd control for their team and who can get their damage out without being CC'd from Team Especially looking at this Katarina now, after picking that quadra kill, is now almost even with Azir in gold. So we'll see if he can get his damage on without getting ulted by the Azir, kicked, rooted, whatever it becomes. But we will have to see how the next teamfight plays out.
Because the next team fight could spell an inhibitor going down for Team Blank. They've got 2 that are open. However, if they win team fight, they've got some really good push out of that Varus and Intra. They can wave if you're like mad. The Baron is the main target. Is either team going to try to rush it, or are they going to clear the enemies in a fight and then go for the Baron? These are all questions that we have yet to see what the answer to is. Decide to start the Baron up as the rest of Blank is going to be able to come in. They've got vision. They know this is happening. They could try to make the engage. Intra's got the ultimate. We'll see what goes down. As the calling from Cody J going to be burned super early. And the call from to back away from the Baron. Blank deciding to instead head towards that mid lane. Try to push out those minion waves. No Ocean Drake on either team.
I do like the play from Team Blank there. They didn't commit to the fight. They might have been able to win it, but it's not entirely sure. They're still down in gold, and some of the members are still fairly far behind.
We saw
but
what happened here last time.
will Tornado stop Intra this time?
That is a question.
Oh, missing.
Intra
Taking quite a
does
bit of damage.
seem a little bit less gun-ho about diving in. Look at it. He's just playing a little bit more passively, which makes sense last time how drastically bad
Oh my
it went.
goodness.
Chunking out Cody J. The ultimate
Oh.
from Facts and Logic. Not going to be able to do that much. I don't think they're going to get the chunks. The Jaces, I think, body blocked that for the rest of his team members as Intra just continues to chunk down this mid lane second tier turret. Instead of worrying about the Baron, they say, we've got enough poke to handle your wave clear and just slowly but surely burn down your structures.
This Dragon's coming up in 8 seconds. It's gonna be another Infernal Drake, so it looks like Team Blank are gonna try and move over, pick that up for themselves.
That'd be so nice if
They
they
should
get
be able
it,
to
'cause
burn
that
it
would
pretty quickly too, because they have an
really
Azir.
even up these two
Yep,
teams.
there goes.
Drake's
Party
even
gun.
between the two. Wait,
Oh,
Pantheon
no,
gonna ult to
Jesus.
his death again.
Not
He said
again.
last time went so well. Let me do it a second time. He's got his team as well. Ace maybe actually caught out here. Kills the Scuttle Crab, which is not that
Things on the
significant.
Baron. They might be able to rotate up because all of Team Blank are on the bot side of the map. They might be able to get there fast. I'm not sure they can melt it fast enough, though. They're gonna walk over some wards on their way up.
There
Something-
is a teleport for Facts and Logic, but it's a huge wave on the top side for the side of Team This could be game deciding because that wave will eventually crash into the inhibitor. They've already got the Baron down to about half. Blank is showing up. Facts and Logic here gets a ward, but it's underneath 2,000 health. Intra needs to go over the wall. Now he goes in. He looks for the ultimate. The
Oh
Baron
my
is
goodness!
picked up, but the damage is massive. Facts and Logic finishes off one. They're chasing down the rest of the team. Neb flashes over to her while he's got the GA and the Blast Cone to get himself to safety, so they're only able to pick up one. Somebody's got to recall and save that top lane inhibitor. I don't know if it's going to be early enough, but it's still 4 members of escape with Baron. That is insane for what looked like a perfect engage from Intra.
That looked so good for Entry. He got 3 members super low. I think the only person that wasn't low in that fight was Neb. But he secures the Baron, and they get out with 4 members keeping it. And the only person they lost was Janna, so it's not too big of a worry.
Yeah,
But,
that was actually
man.
a steal from Team to get that low, but because of that wind drake, they're able to walk away to safety, and everyone focused on Neb, who had a really good escape plan in mind. And now we got 2 members with GA, Pantheon and the J4, both of those engaged champions. They're going to go in, they're going to absorb a lot of the enemy team's initial burst. The question is whether or not this Lee Sin or Azir can find that back line. It looks like both teams are going to collect around this bottom lane second tier turret. No one trying to backdoor these open inhibitors? Interesting choice from Team
I would have liked to see them push in both the other side waves, make these waves pushing towards the enemy and bring some pressure away from the spot lane, as both teams are just 5-manning in the spot side. They're trying to find a pick, but I think they would be better off playing around the map. Intra is super scary on this here.
Yeah, 5-man's the risky part, especially when the enemy team has a Soraka, that each time you try to get a little harassed, she's just going to be healing them back up. To be fair, Janna does have a shield, but it's nothing quite like a Soraka Bless.
Ping's right on the mid lane. I like that Jarvan. Neb's pushing in this mid wave, forcing champions to back and defend this inhibitor.
Northern?
They're gonna try and crack people on the rotation. Can they find Intra?
Neb says, I've got a GA, you can kill me, that's fine. He's going to take the inhib without it. Doesn't even worry about it. Pantheon all going to force members of Team Blank to respond by just collecting around their Nexus turrets. Ace looking for somebody to try to insect as Facts and Logic going to go aggressive. Look at the tornado! Stifles it once again. And in the bottom lane, Lucian free to take another turret down there. And just out-rotates the map. Blank kind of just staring blankly at what they've got in front of them.
Blankly as they watch. Oh my goodness! Logic are gonna get taken down. Oh, 2 members down already from Team Blank.
Yeah, that corrupting chain of corruption not going to be able to do that much. Holds people in place, but they're still super tanky. Happy to keep moving forward. They finished off a second inhibitor. Cody J, backed after finishing off that bottom lane turret, was able to pick up a 3rd item as well as that fancy pickaxe for himself. Really, Team wants to put the nails in the coffin by cleaning up the bottom lane inhibitor turret. Mystic Warrior looking for an opportunity to chase in. The damage is good. Intra trying to slide and glide. He flashes onto the base and uses his Zanias as well, keeping himself alive. So though the critical member for the side of Team Blank is alive, but Nexus turrets are falling. Gangplank going to drop, but the Nexus is exposed. Everyone is here trying to do what they can. Varus able to pick up 2. The Nexus goes down, though. Neb says he's going to finish it off, and the game goes to Team after a very clean rotation towards that mid lane. What a play when they were both pretty stifled on that bottom side.
Good stuff all 8 around. I don't know what else to say. Good stuff. Both teams, that was a fairly
and be
close
elevated.
game overall. 33 minutes, but still I feel like could have gone either way. Team fights were back and forth, pretty close.
It was fairly close for most of that game. It did end at that 33-minute mark, but until about that 25-minute, most of the game was fairly even. It really was that stifling of Intra's engage in the mid lane and the J4 plus Katarina wombo combo that really put Team significantly enough in the lead that they could then start to kind of claw their way through everything that Blank tried to put. And again, Blank had a decent strategy, but when they rotated mid lane, instead of trying to either fight for the Baron or trying to fight in the jungle, really kind of hurt them, because they have the champions that could. Intra catching people out, using that ultimate to kind of clear a space between jungle walls was a good idea, but in the end they fought in the mid lane twice, and it just wasn't good enough for them. Let's roll through the MVPs and honorable mentions. Before we do that, Gira TV, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. We continue to shoutcast games every Tuesday and Thursday, so you're welcome back, as well as we do team get nights in which if you get a 5-man team, you already got 4, might as well get a 5th and come in and do some team events. And hey, we got a tournament coming up at the end of December. Maybe you think about joining that. We got a Discord that you can join if you use that ! Discord command in the chat. For the losing side, Team Blank, they tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Giving the honorable mention over to Facts and Logic. He really played what the team needed well, which was that front line that was able to tank away the enemy team. You saw it twice, body blocking the entire calling from the Lucian, only knocked about a quarter health off of him, and yet still finds execution after execution with the ultimate. But really, the MVP, can you say it with me? Intra himself on his, not Karthus, secondary main. So many good ultimates. Despite being shut down by the Janna that one time, just really played a beautiful, beautiful game. Even towards the end, with some fancy footwork, gets himself onto the fountain and lives through that final push by Team Just, oh my gosh, I could watch him play over and over again.
It's super good stuff for Intra, especially getting some good stream of shuffle engages, finding the picks, and really being the team fight in the winner of a lot of those team fights for his team. And then for the other side, team the winning team. I think the easier one for me is doing MVP first. I'm going MVP over to Neb. 12, 2, and 11 on the Starvin, to just doing incredible amounts of damage with his burst combo and setting up a lot of these fights. I'm gonna give honorable mention over to Gangplank actually on the Janna. He had some really good tornadoes and really good plays to help keep him alive and keep Intra from killing everybody. This is really what I'm getting at there. Especially that one tornado in mid that set up the quadra kill eventually for Mystic Warrior. That tornado stopped, I think, at least 2 people, maybe 3 people from getting just completely blown up by Intra and his combo and bring them back into his team. So crazy good stuff from Gameplay.
It is impossible to not love Janna. I mean, it's true, and had a really sick skin too. Obviously, the honorable mention is just for the skin, not the gameplay. Gameplay is secondary. Skins are far more important. All right, we are at a 1 o'clock in the morning, and I really was kind of looking forward to doing a 5th game, but I think, unfortunately, we are going to call it a night, mostly because Otter and I both have a very early work tomorrow morning. Harrington the I. Harrington the Third. I get it, Harrington. Kind of like Rivington. It's Harrington the Third. Oh my gosh, such a genius. Right over here. Jake has got it down. Guys, my brain is on point. Harrington the Third. Unfortunately, I think we're going to call it an end for the night. That said, come back Thursday. We're going to be right back to casting. We've got 2 other casters lined up to cast Thursday. Travesty, as well as, I'm forgetting the other caster that's going to be joining us. We will be getting into some pretty hype games on Thursday as well. It's our fun night. It's time to bring out some memes, time to bring out some off-meta picks. If I don't see an Ivern, I'm going to straight up riot. But guys, it's been fantastic. And Otter, thank you so much for joining us and casting with us. You're always actually a really big pleasure to cast with. I love our games together.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And
I do it.
let's check. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, that's a video, not a live stream. Drat. I was excited. I was like, hold on a second. Is this... there is a group that I follow, Black